It's 40 years ago today. But what happened at 3:57 that afternoon will live forever in baseball history. Sports Shorts next. Where would Bobby Thompson and Ralph Branca be today? Larry Goldberg. 40 years ago at the Polo Grounds, Thompson hit the shot heard round the world, but the broadcast heard through the ages of Russ Hodges might have been lost forever.
Brooklyn leads at 4-2. 1 out, last of the ninth. Branca throws. There's a long strike. I still be, I believe. The Giants won the pennant. 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 Bobby Thompson hits into the very back of the left field stand. The Giants won the pennant, and they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
And today, Branca jokingly choking Thompson. I spoke with him.
All I was saying was sink, 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 hoping it would sink and hit the wall because he hit it with overspin. He had an uppercut swing, it was a high fastball. Unfortunately, it sunk right into some fan's lap.
And you were thinking, rise, rise, rise.
Well, no, I was thinking at first...
He was thinking, hurry up, wall.
And it's because of Goldberg that we have perhaps the most famous call in the history of sports. He's the one who taped it at home in Brooklyn on his tape recorder. The radio station never taped it. I'll have an interview with Goldberg at 6 o'clock. He's the one who preserves sports history.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Actually, it was his mom who pushed the button.
Mrs. Goldberg.
Miss Sylvia.
That's right.
That's what it was. Okay.
All right, thank you. Dawn's up in the news.
New York after the Giants and Dodgers left town. Shea Stadium is named after Bill Shea. And of course, 40 years ago today, the shot heard round the world. And Bobby Thompson and Ralph Branca together again today. 40 years later to the minute, they watched it replayed one more time on the big screen at a Madison Square Garden reception. I talked with him.
I'm kind of amazed with all this attention, but I think Ralph and I are a couple of working guys since we've been out of ball and realistic about the whole thing. And, of course, obviously, I've had more fun. It's been nicer for me than it has been for him.
I've had a lot of fun.
You haven't had fun doing this?
Yes, I've had fun.
Well,
I mean, you say, what do I have to put up
about
with this source? But, you know, it's gone, it's over, and I think Bobby and I become friends. I think that's made it a lot easier.
And I truly believe as monumental as that homer was when the Giants won the pennant, it wouldn't be as big today if it were not for Larry Goldberg.
Branca throws. There's a long strike. I still be, I believe. The Giants won the pennant. The Giants won the pennant. The Giants won the pennant. The Giants won the pennant.
If it wasn't for Larry Goldberg, a Giants fan living in Brooklyn, Russ Hodges' famous call of that home run would have been lost forever.
I had a premonition that morning that something exciting was going to happen at the end of the game. It had been a very exciting month of September, as you know, as the Giants charged to the fore. And I turned the radio on, set the tape recorder, said to my mother, Mom, something's going to happen. So when the top half of the ninth inning is over, press this button and tape record it so I can hear it when I come home from work.
Why did you put your tape recorder next to the radio? Why not the television?
Because we didn't own a television. This was 1951.
Giants sponsor Chesterfield made a record of the call. Goldberg received the grand total of $100 and a free pass to the Polo Grounds in 1952. How does it feel to be part of sports history?
I don't know. I can't describe it. It's, gee, that's mine. If it wasn't for me, that wouldn't be there. But then I say, gee, I didn't hit the home run, and I didn't scream like Russ Hodges did. All I did was ask my mother to push a button.
Thank you. Sylvia Goldberg, still alive and well. She's the one who started that tape recorder in the bottom of the ninth inning in Brooklyn.
Yeah, if you pushed the wrong button, that would have been it right there.
I did that once, so that's another story.
Pushed the wrong button?
Yeah, I had this interview as a kid with Howard Cosell.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I did this great interview with him. My first great interview, I pushed the wrong button.
Discovered you press play instead of recording.
It rewound, right? Thanks,
All right,
Len.
thanks, Len.
Every good Dodger and Giant fan knows 40 years ago this afternoon, October 3rd, 1951, Bobby Thompson hit his famous three-run homer in the bottom of the ninth off Ralph Branca, giving the Giants the playoffs 2-1 and the 1951 National League pennant. Now, we've all heard from Thompson and Branca. Vic Miles had him earlier. But what about Willie Mays, who was on deck when Thompson hit the famous home run? I asked Willie if Thompson had walked with first base open, did he think the Giant manager Leo DeRocher would pinch hit for him?
I said to myself, knowing Leo, he would have taken me out right then. I have heard Leo say different, but I was wondering, I said, they have to walk Thompson to pitch to me because that was my first year, nervous, didn't know what was happening. So I was so glad that Charlie didn't look over there and see me and then still pitch to Bobby. But I think Leo would have taken me out.
All right, Willie Wade. Once again, Leo DeRocher always says, no, I wouldn't have pinch hit for him. A sad note in sports.
In the newsroom right now with a look at
Shot heard around the world. The home run by Bobby Thompson of the Giants to beat the Brooklyn Dodgers in the final playoff game of 1951. Scott Clark was among those remembering today.
After the shot that gave the Giants the pennant over the Dodgers in the last at-bat, in the last playoff game, Ralph Brankett, the man who served up the pitch to Bobby Thompson, is still at his nemesis' neck, but only in fun these days. It's a far cry from what it was then.
No, when you wore Giants on your uniform and I wore Dodgers, forget it. I mean, we never talked to them. 15 years at ease, and then in another 5 years, it was basically over, and then Bobby and I started to become friends just about then, after 20 years.
They talk about great moments in sports, and I feel fortunate that my little thing is included, but we've become closer, and we both right from the start realized that, look, if this thing hadn't happened to either one of us, you know, we'd both be forgotten about, so there it is.
Because of you, Dodger fans are forlorn.
And I will swing because of you.
40 years ago today, Brankett and Thompson still remember. Do you know, the Polo Grounds held about 52,000 people. Most people don't know it wasn't packed. There were only about 34,000 people there. One man who was there was working for the New York Post, Leonard Lewin.
Yeah, you're in a dressing room, and I want to go see what's happening out there. I can't even do that. There must be 2-3 million people today who said they were at the Polo Grounds and saw that home run. I was there and didn't see it.
Scott Clark, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.